The outrage over toxic air is heating up in Cobb and Fulton counties. It was a full house at a community meeting to hear the president of Sterigenics explain why the plant off of Atlanta Road is releasing cancer-causing chemicals into the air.
And many last night, they were not satisfied with the explanation. They say no amount of ethylene oxide is safe for the people who have to breathe it. So the next step residents and elected officials plan to take is to hire an independent firm to test the air quality to see exactly where they stand. That's already been done near a Sterigenics plant in Willowbrook, Illinois. A group there called Stop Sterigenics has been fighting the company for a year now and says this process is hard and sad but necessary.
It is worth investing some time to really understand what's going on and to know it. I think what's next is just being bombarded with horrible stories and people's stories of loss and illness. In our community, there are hundreds of lawsuits pending against Sterigenics.
Currently, Sterigenics is self-testing and self-reporting the levels of ethylene oxide being emitted into the air. Now, regulators have known about those chemicals for years, but have not said anything.
Tonight, we're learning more about last-minute attempts by one of the plants to change its practices. CBS 46's Haley Mason is questioning environmental agencies about why this news and this entire process. Haley, why is it coming so late?
Well, Sean, one of the biggest issues we've discovered today is that the EPA study was actually dated back in 2014. So now they're trying to get the science to catch up with the reality of what's happening in these vulnerable communities. No one is taking the news lightly that possible toxic gases are being pushed into the air out of this plant near Smyrna called Sterigenics. I went to the Environmental Protection Agency office in Atlanta today to find out why it took so long for them to inform the public of the news. They didn't have answers ready for me then, but the Environmental Protection Division told me in a statement that the new findings are not due to new sources or increased amounts of ethylene oxide being released. But in 2016, the EPA determined that the risk of long-term exposure of the gas is greater than they previously thought, so they updated the risk calculations. They went on to say that both Sterigenics in Cobb County and BD Bard in Covington are in compliance with current federal requirements for the control of ethylene oxide emissions. Both facilities conduct periodic testing and are currently emitting significantly less gas than assumed in the 2014 NADA report. State lawmakers and 2 Cobb County commissioners have met with the EPA after it confirmed the facilities are in areas with greater cancer risks.
When it did get on the EPA radar that the area could be vulnerable, there was a disconnect in communicating that to elected leaders.
Cobb County Commissioner Lisa Cupid tells me that Sterigenics, which sits adjacent to her district, submitted a late permit request yesterday, trying to amend its practices.
I don't know how long it's going to take for the EPD to review this new permit submitted by Sterigenics so that they can begin to retrofit their site. But it's good to know at least that it's forthcoming.
Yeah, Commissioner Cupid said it's good to know that this measure is forthcoming, but they want answers about what's happening right now. There is another public meeting scheduled for August 19th, similar to last night's meeting, but they're hoping for more answers this time. We've got a team of reporters on this story. My colleague Jamie Kennedy has been talking to a state lawmaker who's trying to get the CDC involved in this. For now, outside the EPA office in Atlanta, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.